Hello and welcome to AD Vlogs. This is the third video of my series on explorations in the Zanskar Valley of Ladakh, where I shall share my travel experiences from Padum to the holy hill called Gonbo Ronjon and the 16,580 feet high Shinkula Pass on the Ladakh-Himachal Pradesh border. I began my journey from Srinagar, traveling through Kargil, RANGDUM up to Padum, which is the administrative headquarters of the Zanskar Tehsil of Kargil, crossing the PENSI Pass and the RANGDUM glacier on the way. You can watch those videos following the I button running on the top right corner of your screen. If you are planning to ride or drive yourself in this area, it is important to know the road conditions, which is really tricky on certain stretches, so do watch the entire video till its end. I started from Padum after a night stay at around 9:30 in the morning. Padum lies in the heart of the LUGNAK valley, which starts after you cross the PENSI Pass. It is a large town where you need to stock up some stores, especially water and dry food, which can be essential along this route. There aren't many options after Padum till you reach Darcha in Himachal. For the first time during this journey, I had clear bright weather, which made the beginning of the day really exciting, because the next 2-3 days is supposed to be the most enjoyable phase of this journey, with the Gonbo Ronjon and the PHUKTHAR monastery trek on the itinerary. There is a small, relatively newer monastery on the outskirts of Padum town, which can be explored if you so wish. The road was a mixed bag of smooth surface and really bad patches since we left Padum. The Sarap river accompanied us and would continue for the entire journey. Signs of ongoing road construction works was frequently visible. The first place of real interest where you might want to explore is the BARDAN monastery. Next comes the Mune Gompa and the Mune village. Proceeding further, we came across the small confluence of an unknown stream meeting the Sarap river. It can be a good place for a few photographs. Heavy vehicles of the BRO carrying construction men and materials were keeping a constant watch on us at regular intervals. The Sarap river was getting bluish and more beautiful at every alternate turn. But our track to follow was getting worse by the minute. The rocky terrain will test your waist, especially if you are on a two-wheeler. But the rugged rocky terrain in the backdrop, while the river changes its course every kilometer or two, produces really picturesque scenes. More so when you cross the river and get to see the wide open valley from its base as you cross it. It was exquisite. The road, rocky and undeveloped, as you can see, has some really steep gradients quite frequently. And particularly on these gradients, it would get really narrow. The loose gravel on the surface needs to be properly negotiated on these gradients. Some are so steep, like this one, it is clearly visible even through the camera. The descents on the other side are equally steep, and big pieces of rock popping up out of nowhere complicated things. The clear blue sky was in striking contrast with the rocky surroundings, creating amazing scenes, and hence the journey since the last couple of hours or so without any human habitations never felt boring. You can get to click some stunning landscape shots along this route. A little later, we reached this spot with a board by the Ladakh Tourism Department indicating a route to the PHUKTHAR monastery. It surprised us because we were of the impression that the trek to PHUKTHAR starts from Purne, which must have been somewhere close by, further ahead, and it was our planned stop for some food and rest before reaching Gonbo Ronjon. The amazing layers of colors and contours on display all around were simply overwhelmingly beautiful. And soon we could see the Purne village ahead of us, lower down in the valley. It was around 3 PM we reached Purne. It is a tiny village, and this place, the Norbu guest house, is the only place where you can find food and accommodation for tourists. We would be staying here on our return journey. After about an hour, we set off on our journey again. The road condition continued to be as usual. We were getting impatient with every passing minute because we started our journey for the day with the knowledge that it was only a distance of about 80-85 kilometers to Gonbo Ronjon. But we were approaching the end of the day with no sign yet of our much desired destination. We were tired of clicking pictures and desperately wanted to reach the final stop of the day, but time and again there were such astonishing landscapes on display we couldn't help taking a halt. The colors and contrasts were pouring in and flowing with magnificent elegance. Finally, at around 5:45 p.m. at the end of a turn, we could spot the peak of the Gonbo Ronjon in the distant horizon, shining in the golden colors of the setting sun. But our impatience made it appear as if every meter we progressed was taking it kilometers away. The road seemed never ending. About 5-6 kilometers ahead of Gonbo Ronjon, there is a small and beautiful village called Kargil. I managed to click this stunning picture here. There is a small police checkpost too where you have to stop. This is how Gonbo Ronjon looks like from Kargil. After Kargil, we began a mad rush to capture the Gonbo Ronjon in its golden sunset colors. But the road was often putting up obstacles, slowing us down. And finally, at around 6:30 p.m., we were finally there. There were 2-3 campsites and we chose this one. The temperature was pretty cold, feeling like 5-6 degrees, expected to fall further at night. And to make you feel how stunningly beautiful the Gonbo Ronjon is, I shall share a few pictures clicked by me. And this is what you get inside the tents. Next morning, we would be visiting the Shinkula pass on the Himachal Pradesh border, about 20 kilometers away, and then heading back to Purne. We started early at 7:30. And this is one more option to stay here, which is located at about a kilometer away from our campsite. The road took us right at the base of the Gonbo Ronjon, and it seemed to be a gigantic single piece of rock. There was no road, only a trail through the valley following the stream of the Kargil. Ice melts from nearby glaciers etc. was flowing across this trail, feeding the Kargil. For the entire distance from Gonbo Ronjon, the road is non-existent almost. Though we came across construction activities as we got closer to the Shinkula top, it was evident that the works were progressing from Darcha onwards towards Kargil Padum. Around 9 am, about 3-4 kilometers before the Shinkula top, we got stuck due to this. It had happened shortly before we reached the spot, and we were stuck until the BRO would clear the blockage. There were vehicles stranded both above and below us, moving in either directions. It took about 1.5 hours for that to happen, and we could proceed. And finally, at around 11, we reached the Shinkula top. After spending some time clicking pictures, we headed back to our base camp. We would be having our lunch before leaving for Purne. It is from the ice deposits here that the Kargil originates. Works on removing the landslide debris were still not completed when we were descending. We reached back at our camp at around 1:30 p.m. I had a brief chat with the owner of the camp.
Or this is our friend Tenzing Gonbo who runs this camp, Gonbo camp, right next to the Gonbo Ronjon peak. तो आप कब से ये कैंप चला रहे हो?
सर ये है हमारा पहला साल है।
अच्छा,
फर्स्ट टाइम लगा ये सब।
ये पहला साल है। और आप रहने वाले कहाँ के हो?
मैं तो यहाँ के पास 12 किलोमीटर आगे दूसरा गांव है वहाँ।
कुर्गिया के पास?
हाँ जी।
अच्छा, यहाँ पे आप एक साथ कितने आदमियों का रहने का इंतजाम हो सकता है?
अभी तो फिलहाल
8 आदमियों का इंतजाम?
15 आदमियों का।
15 आदमी एक साथ ये सारे टेंट में रह सकते हैं। और चार्जेस कितना आएगा?
सर इसमें होगा पर पर्सन 1000 रुपीज़। इसमें डिनर और ब्रेकफास्ट इंक्लूड
होगा। और कुछ ज़्यादा मांगे तो उसका अलग से देना पड़ेगा। ओके, थैंक यू।
हैप्पी जर्नी।
So, after lunch, it was time for us to bid goodbye to the holy hill. It is such a magnificent place to visit and spend time. It is advisable that you try and visit this place at least once. So we headed back to Purne and stayed at the Norbu guest house that I have already shown. It cost us 1500 per person per night. I shall close this video here. In the next part, I shall be trekking up to the PHUKTHAR monastery. It is going to be equally exciting, so do stick around until then. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please share it with your friends and family. Do click the like button and comment with your queries and suggestions if any. Also, hit the subscribe button to get updates about the videos as and when I upload. Thanks for watching.
Ladies can't be